Oh.
Welcome to Dog Hugs, your daily dog show. Sponsored by Yummy Combs. Love your dog longer. Today's guest is legendary TV dog show host David Frei with a Thanksgiving Day preview of NBC's National Dog Show.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing well in the snowy New York.
Can you believe it's already snowing there? I'm blown away by this whole concept of snow, and it's going to show up here shortly, here in Kansas.
Thank goodness, my dogs. I just bought them matching Christmas pajamas.
Oh,
little gingerbread men. They're adorable.
Oh, I can't wait to see. Will you share pictures? Because
I'll share a lot of pictures.
I'm so excited for that. And speaking of dressing our dogs up and making them all pretty, let's chat about the supermodel of the week, because I am so excited about judging these dogs today for a reason, right? Nah, there's no, just teasing. Anyway, I've been, I just finished judging a really neat competition, and Robbie and Larry and I will chat about what that competition was very soon. It's been a lot of fun. So let's get into the supermodel of the week. And you know, we should have put Larry in this today because he's not with us. We should have put him in the supermodel of the week. What were we thinking?
I don't know.
His photo would have been hilarious to pop up right about now. And while we do this, we're actually going to talk once again. I'm going to judge or guess the breeds. I'm not going to judge them. I'm going to, well, you judged them because you participated in our awesome supermodel of the week competition.
Yes,
so
when we're done, I'll tell you how your dog could be in the supermodel of the week.
Definitely. So I'm looking at Angel and Happy right now, and I am very happy. Aren't they adorable?
They really are.
First of all, I think Angel
poses too.
I know they pose perfectly. So Angel at the top looks like a Chihuahua Terrier mix. I'm guessing only. I can always be wrong, but don't you think Angel looks like a Chihuahua Terrier?
I think so. It seems like wiry hair.
But fat, but a bigger chest. Like it's starting to be like a little bigger than a normal terrier, unless they are not working on their bikini body.
Maybe. It is getting wintry, so.
It is. And also I'm looking at a poodle mix, and I want to say poodle, Havanese, Bolognese mixed with anything from a spaniel to, gosh, the list is kind of endless, but definitely 100% happy.
So cute.
And our number 4 is Ollie, which I'm going to describe as 50% bologna and 100% ham. Because look at him right now. He is posed like no other.
Looking over his shoulder.
He's definitely part Labrador Retriever, but I'm going to guess that he has some kind of hound in there as well. Just a guess, but gosh, probably not far off. Ollie's adorable, though.
Loving that furniture.
Yeah, he's a poser. And Theo, which I think is some kind of a pointer retriever, possible spaniel mix. I can't see the rest of Theo's body, but once again, 100% beautiful. I don't think he's a Brittany Spaniel. I think he's got some kind of other gun dog in him. He is gorgeous. So thanks for adding Theo into our supermodel of the week competition.
That little face.
Oh, and snowy. I love the white face with the black eyes and black nose like my Cece and Chipper. I can't tell exactly what this pet puppy is, but it's definitely a puppy. Could be a golden retriever puppy. It could be even a Grand Pyrenees puppy. So cute, right? 100%
perfect for
cute.
a tongue out Tuesday, don't you think?
Perfect. I like Tongue Out Tuesday. It's one of my favorite times to post tongue pictures with my pet. Yes. Thank you, Snowy. Thank you, Snowy's parents. And our winner, I need a drum roll.
Please. My husband's a drummer. I should have had him here drumming for us yesterday.
Okay, that's his new job. He's officially hired. Here's our winner. Since Larry didn't enter. Sammy Joe. What? So first of all, 100% cute. And second of all, I'm going to assume that's a girl, and it's Actually, looks like a Labrador to me, but it could be a couple of different things. It could even be a flat coat retriever. I can't tell for certain, but boy, it is so. Sammy, you're so cute, Sammy Joe.
Looks like a puppy, don't you think, or no?
Definitely a baby. Definitely not more than 10 weeks old, maybe 9.
Oh, okay. See, now what
Very
we've got
young.
to do is get the people who post their dogs to let us know how close we are on the breeds.
Oh gosh, please do. We would love clarity and confirmation on my guessing game. And also, because sometimes it's a little rocky, but usually it's good. And also, please enter your pets in our Supermodel of the Week competition so that you can become our Supermodel of the month and year. And Robbie will tell you more about that, and she'll actually post the link right now or shortly.
So share a photo of your beautiful dog or dogs on our Facebook page. Then every day we choose the dogs of the day. People can go comment, like, share, and then at the end of the week, my beautiful daughter counts up all of the numbers for all of the dogs, and then we put together our top 5 video. And like Sammy Joe will be on top of our Facebook page as the Supermodel of the Week for the entire week.
I love that. So please do. We would love to hear from you, and anything you want to share about your pets, please, we would, first of all, we'd love to hear it. Second of all, we just want to know, because we love hearing about what everybody is up to with their pets, especially during this whole crazy COVID season.
So
and
cute.
After this many years of actually training dogs, I've been lucky enough to be able to even work with our guest today, David Frei, at the 2018 National Dog Show. And I was able to meet a few new breeds that year that I knew a little bit about, but we actually have 3 new breeds that they're introducing this year to the National Dog Show. And our guest today is going to go into a little bit of detail regarding those 3 breeds. But I'm super excited because being able to bring this information to everyone, everybody that watches, and understand a little bit more about the dog that's sitting next to them on their couch, just pleases me. It makes me so happy to be able to do that. And I love the response that we get. So hopefully we'll hear more from you with the Supermodel of the Week, sparked from our awesome interview today with who we call the inventor of dogs. I know you giggle, Robbie, when I say that, right?
I do. That's a big mantle to carry.
It is. I didn't make that up. That title follows him wherever he goes. And we both share a spaniel. So we have a lot in common besides all the judging we've done. We also absolutely both love spaniels. So
Geraldine, before we go into the interview, what will the dog show look like this year? Are there going to be people in the stands, or how is that going to work with coronavirus?
Great question. No one will be in the stands.
Okay.
Actually, the David and John are broadcasting from their homes this year.
Oh, wow.
So they are not even going to attend. And they have dropped the number of contestants from 2,000, dog contestants, that is,
okay,
from 2,000 to 600. However, David's going to go into that on this interview. And it's really important to understand they're doing everything that they can to keep it COVID friendly and safe for everyone, so there aren't any issues with the dogs or with their people, because they work so hard to form and mold this dog and the dog's personality and his health, his or her hair. I mean, everything about them is so meticulously managed, and they don't want to put themselves or their pets in harm's way. So they are being very careful, but it's going to be a really great year. I'm excited.
Yeah, I love watching it.
I do as well. So it's on NBC this coming Thursday, 1 week from this Thursday, actually. So it's Thanksgiving Day. So if you have a remote control, if you're in charge, make sure you hand it to the dog lover until 2 o'clock, because it's dogs until 2, pretty much across the board, across the nation. And I hope you get a chance to set your timers to record this to DVR this if you're not able to watch on Thanksgiving Day. But there should be no reason you're not watching on Thanksgiving Day.
True. And Geraldine, even though Larry's not here today, and we're not going to be able to do our Yummy Combs giveaway because, he is the keeper of the tennis balls and the Maytag.
Yes. Wheelorama.
Is there anything you'd like to say about Yummy Combs?
Well, I'd actually love for everyone to know that what you put into your pet actually helps turn them into a show dog. And Yummy Combs, they're one of my secrets for helping my pets at home look like a show dog. And we have an amazing actually beautiful commercial that Yummy Combs produced that we'd like to share. And we'll be giving away a bag of Yummy Combs and a random drawing from everyone that comments today. So we'll be contacting you to let you know that you have won today's Yummy Combs. Here is the beautiful Thanksgiving commercial from Yummy Combs, and we're going to go straight into our interview with the inventor of Dog immediately after, Mr. David Frei.
It's cold outside, but it's warm in my heart. And in the gray fall sky is his work of art, laden and low, quiet and still. November is welcome, my eyes to drink their fill. Of brown-gray grass and red-orange leaves, of pavement winding through the strong, stately trees. Down the hill, past the barn, past the gate, up the lane. The house with bright candles in each window pane. Now I step inside, oh it's warm, oh that smell, hot turkey roasting, potatoes done well. Sweet spicy cider, warm winter wine, cranberry sauce, oh, the flavor's divine. The smiles and hugs are so warm and sweet, and this cold gray November, a Thanksgiving treat. I do love it all, and I am so thankful, yes, for this lovely season. I am truly blessed.
So we're going to rewind that and start that back. I don't have a volume, Robbie.
I'm not hearing any sound either.
I'm not either. Let's rewind that and start that over, can we? And hopefully Larry does not have his computer muted. You don't have sound from me either. I don't hear you, Robbie.
I had muted myself because my dogs are going crazy because there's a deer walking down the road.
That's hilarious. So we're going to try that again, but we want to make sure that Larry's unmuted first, because if Larry's muted, you won't be able to hear our amazing interview. So give us just a moment while we make sure that Larry is unmuted.
Technical difficulties.
It happens. And we'll start the interview with David over. Yeah, I think Larry's muted.
Larry's working for us behind the scenes today.
He is.
We're trying to see what's going on with the sound, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned for more. Yes, and actually, I've actually sent him a message. So I think sometimes when you when you mute yourself, you mute the entire interview. So therefore, I think if he has muted himself, that is part of the reason why our interview with David isn't playing. Now, I'm really excited to chat about the 3 new breeds that are being introduced into the 208 that are already recognized by AKC. And I don't mean recognized. I mean, let's see if this will work. No, we still don't have sound. I'm going to call Larry really quickly.
Okay.
No, his phone is off. Well, you know what? We might have to chat about what happened.
True.
Because Larry has turned off his telephone. So Larry had a little bit of surgery today, just minor, nothing major. And so we gave him a reprieve to be able to not have to be on camera today, which is kind of, obviously it's not a bad thing. It's good. He needs to have some rest. It's really important that you rest anytime that you need. So, and so Larry is responding and saying he doesn't know what the problem is. His sound is on. So I'm not quite sure why we don't have any sound on our video.
And that was an amazing interview.
It is. So I'm not sure what the problem is. I'm wondering if
I have no idea.
I'm wondering if there's something just not synced up on the interview. So in the meantime, we're going to chat a little bit about some future guests we have coming up and some future shows.
Okay.
It is really we're really lucky to be able to have we're really lucky to be able to have the opportunity to not only be able to bring to you our Dog Hugs top 10 favorite dog and cat products of 2020. Great holiday ideas, but we're also lucky enough to be able to continue to have some trick training shows coming up, some pedicate shows, as well as a few guests that we are going to have on the show very soon. One of those is Zoe Bowie from Las Vegas. I'm super excited to have him on. He's a very well-connected and amazingly talented entertainer. He is hosting the Casino Awards. They're giving out awards for the casino entertainers this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who wins.
Oh, that's cool.
That's going to be a really fun one. So he'll be a guest. Also, we have an award-winning journalist. Her name is Leslie Frisbee. I love Leslie. Not only is she a major animal lover and an incredible animal advocate, she has also created this amazing give back program. And it's called the Class Project. And we're going to go into the details of the Class Project soon. We also have the CEO of the Chalk Walk Festival here in Kansas City, Missouri. They are a huge fundraising event that we normally have in person, but we had it virtually this year. And quite a few of the chalk artists are from California. We've already had one of the chalk artists on. His name was Wayne Renshaw. You might remember him.
So
he had all those amazing chalk artists. Yes. We also have gosh, the list is endless, actually, through all the way up until the first week of December, when we are going to actually be announcing the winners of the AKC Trick Dog National Competition, which I can't wait for us to co-announce that with Mary Birch from the AKC. That's going to be fun. Mary Birch will eventually be one of our guests as well. So talk about exciting. Let's see what happens with our sound.
Don't know. I'm blaming it on internet gremlins.
I'm going to blame it on the bots. The bots ate the sound. They've eaten it right up. It happens. And it happens every now and again. So it is just part of life and does not bother me a bit. We will figure out what's going on with the sound. And we will definitely replay this for you all so you get a chance to enjoy this interview, especially for those who are wondering what the future of dog shows look like moving forward, because obviously this is going to be around for probably another year before we are feeling safe and making certain that we can start interacting. And once that we pass by the milestone of containment and vaccination, then we'll be able to go out and play again. I guess I'll say it that way. We'll be able to be able to play a little more freely, especially when it comes to gathering for dog shows.
Right.
So I do see a bit more virtual in our future for at least the next 6 months while we allow science to do their magic and come up with the way to combat the effects of this. I don't know about you, Robbie. I've had people that I know that have gotten this, and also people that have passed away from it. So not fun.
Yeah, I don't know anyone, although my husband and I had a scare last week. So, somebody at his place of employment got it. So then we got tested because, we have baby Atlas who shows up on Dog Hugs every so often. So,
And he's so cute.
We wanted to make sure we were safe since we have him so often.
Of course, as expected. And I'm actually getting tested soon because I'm getting ready to do a short travel at some point and want to make sure that I don't have, and I'm not carrying it anywhere. We did have a little scare at the grade school around the corner from us. They actually had teachers that contracted it at a fundraiser. And then they closed the school down and they're teaching 100% virtually. So there's no issues at all with the containment of it immediately. It's now moving forward, making very wise choices for a short amount of time while we get a chance to get things under control.
Well, and you were just traveling.
I'm here, guys.
Hi, Larry.
And I'm thinking that the reason the video isn't playing is because I wasn't here. So now I'll bet it's going to play.
Yay!
All right, here we go. It's something about the technology. Tell me if you can hear this.
So, David, how you doing?
Yep.
Yep, that's what it was. All right, I'm here.
We're doing great. We're healthy. We're in Seattle. So we're trying to spend most of this month in Seattle because I just built this Zoom room, they call it now. And,
I love the Zoom room.
The bulk of my work is going to be framed in this Zoom room in Seattle. So we just did a press junket via Zoom. First time we've done that. We shot our stand-ups yesterday via Zoom. I don't suppose it's probably not really Zoom that we shot the NBC stuff in. They shipped me a bunch of stuff to set up, and then we shot our stand-ups, the first 5 minutes of the show. And then today we did the press junket, and Saturday and Sunday when the dog show is, we dial into the truck, and we don't have any input. We're not shooting anything. We're just watching the competition, watching the groups and the dogs, and trying to come up with dogs to put forward into the TV finals. There's a lot of changes in the dog show. I think you might not notice it by the time we produce it for television, but the reality of the dog show itself is now suddenly governed by, of course, the AKC and its suggested protocols, but they don't make them hard and fast rules. They're leaving it all up to the local clubs, to the clubs at the local level who have to deal with their maybe a state or county-owned venue where they've always had their show, and the other rules that they have for the health and well-being of people who are threatened by this horrible pandemic, and what that has done to us. And I'm a member of the Kennel Club of Philadelphia, but what that's done to us is we have to set up the show by the rules from the Montgomery County Health Department, the rules of the AKC, and with close supervision and watchover from NBC, who has a health and medicine arm to any event that they do. And they, of course, are right on top of this, saying that if we're doing this event, we have to abide by these rules. So that brings us down from 2,000 dogs to 600 dogs. It brings us down from 2 dog shows, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. The one on Saturday is the one we always take, but they've had to combine those 2 shows down to just one show and split it over 2 days. So they're taping on Saturday, taping on Sunday, and Best in Show is Sunday, the last thing we do Sunday evening. But that way we can have a number of dogs that's reasonable to have in competition on each day and get us all there within the health and safety issues. Social distancing, masks on our judges, masks on our handlers, no masks on our dogs, but social distancing, I think, is going to be a factor everywhere with dogs and people. And that's what the reality is of the show. What you'll see on television is going to be pretty much the same, except we won't have spectators. There's no spectators.
So the total broadcast length on Thanksgiving Day is how long?
Is 2 hours.
And
2 hours
will that
in every time zone on NBC?
And will that? How is it broken down? the same as we've seen it each year, David?
Always. It's group competition in the 7 different groups. After they've competed already in 107, I think we have 178 breeds and varieties in the show, which is great considering we only have 537 dogs. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to show you a little bit of everything, as many different breeds as possible. And normally we might get 190 anyway in a 2,000 dog show. So you can imagine what hoops we had to jump through to make it a 537 dog show. We come out to 178 breeds and varieties. So they start competing like every dog show at the breed level. Whoever wins their breed advances to their corresponding group, one of 7 groups. And then the 7 group winners come together at the end, like an advancing, think March Madness. It's like an advancing bracket in sports. You win, you move to the next level. You win your breed, you move to the group. You win your group, you move to Best in Show. And in Best in Show, the 7 group winners come together, and one of them is going to be the Best in Show winner. So
David, I have a question for you. Regarding that little spot right there. So I'm going to interrupt you in this aspect of what's happening with dog shows and COVID. And to me, it's a super important question because I think everyone wants to know. You've judged before. I've judged before. In fact, I just got done judging a competition, which we'll discuss later. However, how much do you think the audience really does affect the judge's decision? And there will be no audience this year cheering on the dog. So what are you thinking in terms of the way that the judges are going to respond to not having that audience participation? Truly.
Well, the on the record response is the judges are not supposed to be influenced by the audience. The reality is that if you're running some cute little beagle out there and he bays at the moon at the right time, the crowd's going to go crazy for it. That happens. That happens all the time. But maybe the handler plays some cute deal that the dog does, plays that off to the crowd, and the crowd says, "Oh, that's so cute! I'm going to cheer for this dog." So there is a little bit of that going on. But the reality is, and the textbook answer is, the judges are not supposed to be influenced by the crowd or the crowd noises and things like that.
Great answer. I totally get it. So, we know.
Yeah, I'm still a licensed judge.
And I'm becoming a licensed judge, so I get it. I totally get it. But just it's going to be a different atmosphere. So thank you for being candid about that.
It's going to be different. It'll be quieter. That's I don't know what to think when it's so quiet. We don't get as much barking at a dog. That's a question I get all the time. We don't get as much barking at a dog show as you might think we would when you bring 2,000 dogs or even 500 dogs together in the same place. It's not really noisy from barking dogs. It's noisy from the spectators and the people who were there. But generally speaking, the noise level is not overwhelmed with barking.
Part of the magic of the National Dog Show is what's called benching, where regular folks can go backstage and meet the dogs. And here you are at a previous show in the benching area, inspecting a dog here. What's it going to be like this year without benching? Will it change the nature of the show?
Sure it will. I mean, first of all, since we don't have spectators, we're not admitting any spectators. So the benching really is for the spectators. It's an educational opportunity for the spectators and for the breeders and owners and handlers to educate the general public about their specific breeds, what they were bred to do, why the poodle haircut looks this way. What is this dog's history? Where did it come from? And to be able to have that kind of conversation with the people, but we're not allowing any people in there, and we're bringing the dogs in waves instead of allowing them to come in and set up and hang out there. Then the benching becomes moot. And what we do, we just hope that the TV can carry that. I hope that everybody will watch us on television and maybe get the same questions answered that they would have gotten answered back in the benching area.
And another part of that benching magic is that folks do enjoy getting together with you. And let's see here.
Taking a few selfies.
Yeah, taking a few selfies with folks. And so they're they're going to have a year off from being able to connect with you, David. And
well, unless they want to come to Camden Beach or Seattle, Beverly Hills, we're triangulating, as we say.
Right.
We did the same thing with the Voices from Beverly Hills, so we're not totally surprised by what's going on now. And we have a chance to do it from home and to actually spend Thanksgiving Day at home with our families and our dogs. And next year we want to get it back. This is the new normal, we say. We've done virtual dog shows on TV where people are presenting their dogs via streaming video. They send us a video of their dogs. We did a charity event for the American Heart Association of Dallas when the Longhorn Classic Dog Show cluster got canceled. They said, well, let's do something for charity, and we'll do a virtual dog show. We had 130 judges. So you can have 130 judges because you don't have to worry about flying them in or housing them or doing things. They can do it virtually. You just send them the videos. They did their videos. They judged their videos just like a regular dog show, only, of course, the judges never get to put their hands on the dogs, which is an important part of judging. But virtually, it worked. And it's kind of the new normal, if you will, for the moment. There's been a number of virtual dog shows. But, the immediate response was to cancel all dog shows. And then they started coming back. They started trying to figure out how to work within the rules and the laws and the guidelines of the AKC and have their dog shows. And so they've started to come back some. We're not totally back to normal yet, but we're still having some dog shows in some places.
Yes. And here you are in the benching area with, this looks like Gabriel Rangel.
It is Gabriel Rangel. He's probably the #1 handler in the country.
Yeah.
In terriers and
he's a gem.
Well, he and Ernesto Lara, who were childhood friends in Mexico City, met at dog shows and eventually ended up here on opposite coasts. But those are two of the best handlers you could ever find, and two of the nicest people, the best people you could ever find or want to be involved with. That's one of the wonders of the dog show world, is it brings you a whole new set of friends like that are great to be around.
Yeah. And you can always tell by the way their dogs react to them. These championship dogs that they either are only a handler for, or they might be a co-owner in the pet. You can tell by the way the pet is. It's a total reflection of the handler. It really is.
And what's also fun to see is how these guys, these professional handlers, for all the years that I've been in it, but they bring these guys in to work for them, and they grow up to be Gabriel Rangel or Ernesto Lara.
That's absolutely amazing to me.
So it's like Peter Green. Peter Green's got about 100 people out there who work for him, and probably 90 of them stayed in the sport as handlers and have the same ethics and sense and intelligence that Peter did, because they learned it all from him.
And then this year you won't be able to take a selfie with yourself.
A selfie with yourself. That's pretty nifty.
Those cutouts ought to be in the stand somewhere with the other cutouts. That's John, of course, in his Dalmatian costume, and me in a cutout, and me on site with the cutout. I said, John's already 4 inches taller than me. I said, can't you make him shorter in a cutout?
Hey.
So they did. They did.
Yeah, he's pretty much up there. Looks like he was standing behind me, I think, which made him shorter to start with. It's a whole different world when you're working with John O'Hurley, let me tell you.
I'll bet it is.
I told the story this morning. I said for another interview, I said it's fun to go places with John because through the years we've done this. This will be our 19th year, but through the years, people say, "Oh, John, you're Mr. Peterman, Mr. Peterman." And then, the first 5, 6, 7, 8 years, it's always, you're the guy I see on Seinfeld. And now people come up to him and say, maybe not quite as often as they do Seinfeld, but more so than they've done before. They come up to him and say, "Hey, I watch you on that dog show every Thanksgiving Day." So that's kind of
nice.
I say, "John, I've made you a star." I said, dump that Seinfeld thing and for the dog show, and I've made you famous. So
I love that he went to the dog. That's so great, isn't it?
Lester Holt was my partner for 3 years, and I got him the job as being the nightly news anchor. So because of the great work he did with me. So not really. Of course not. But I was quoted in the New York Times as saying what a great choice Lester would be for that job. And they took my quote. They played. It was the first quote in the story. And of course, he got the job and can't work for me any longer. But he's one of the greatest people in the world, Lester Holt. I'm so happy for his success that he earned by working so hard. But he was my partner for 3 years. He's a dog guy. He had old English sheepdogs and a wonderful family to support them and him. And it couldn't have been a greater choice and a nicer guy.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yeah, he's one of the greats.
Love that story. Go ahead, Larry.
Also, backstage in the benching area is a lot of grooming. And this, of course, will still be going on, David. What's the spirit of that like in typical years? And can you imagine how it might be different this year?
Well, in typical years, these are all people that do dog shows every weekend. Many. I'm not every single one of them, but most of them. And the handlers, of course, have their own social group, but they are there to share their knowledge with other people. Watch how I groom this wire here. Yeah. And then maybe they'll help us, or how do I get this little nick that's in the neck set to lie straight or lie properly? And they'll all help. Guys like Gabriel probably know the answers to all those questions, and he's never hesitated to share his knowledge with anybody. And so that's part of what goes on back there. The handlers are people that are become great personal friends of ours. And through all of this COVID stuff, the pandemic, many of them, live hand to mouth. They don't have health insurance for a lot of them. But make a good living showing dogs. Now the fact is that living's been taken away from them for the moment, and they need help. And Take the Lead, which is a great dog world charity that I was in the early days. I was on the board, but it was founded to help people in the dog show world who had life-threatening or financially threatening illnesses. And mostly it was in the early 90s. Mostly it came about because of the AIDS crisis that we had with a lot of our people in the dog world, and they've stuck pretty much to that as their deal. It's for health issues. It's not for if you get wiped out in a flood or get into an auto accident or things like that. So they've always been pretty true to that. Tom Bradley and Dottie Collier have been the leaders of that group, wonderfully so, for many years. And as soon as this happened, they said we're gonna adjust a little bit here and help support our friends, the handlers, and others who are having financial difficulties because of COVID. And so they've been there to support people through all of this. God bless them for that. And that's just the way the dog world is. We're there to help our friends, and we do that.
Beautiful.
So, David, quick question. So what is the criteria wrapped around which breeds they choose to induct into the National Dog Show as new breeds? How do they choose the BCBG this year, and then this year they have the Barbet? I mean, how do they choose, or is it Barbet? Educate us. Right. Barbet. I figured it was. I thought that was correct, but I never know because I've heard tomato.
So to help folks understand, this year there are 3 new breeds?
3 new breeds, and I'm as guilty as anybody of calling them new breeds when they really aren't necessarily new breeds. They've been around for thousands of years, but we've just taken to the shorthand now. We're calling them new breeds because they are newly recognized by the AKC for competition.
There are 400 breeds in this book, 400, and only 206 are represented at the National Dog Show this year, I think, or something like
breeds
that.
And varieties, it really is only 196.
Correct, at AKC.
Different breeds. But the rest of them are varieties, like the Dachshunds have 3 varieties of Dachshunds. We have
correct
varieties are based on size, coat, or color. So we've got like the Cocker Spaniels are black, party, and Ascot. The Poodles are 3 different sizes. What did I say? Size, coat, and color. Like the Collies, the rough Collie versus the smooth Collie. The only difference there is the coat. So we have 208 breeds and varieties that are recognized. To become recognized, they've been around. Some of them have been around, as I say, for hundreds of years. But to become recognized by the AKC in this country, we have to have a sufficient population of them in this country. There's got to be enough of them, and they have to have a geographic distribution. They can't all live on some farm in Kansas City.
Hey now. hey now. You might have a farm in Kansas City with a lot of dogs on it right now.
That's good, and we'll send them all to you. So we got to have enough of them. They've got to have a parent club, and they've got to be enough numbers. They got to be sufficiently distributed nationwide, and they've got to have a parent club that watches out for them, like the Barbet Club of America. And then the AKC will allow them into what I call the bullpen. They put them in a miscellaneous class. They compete at dog shows in the miscellaneous class, not differentiated by breed at all, just all the miscellaneous dogs in there. They pick a winner, but that dog doesn't advance any further in the dog show. So now, after they've been through there and the AKC is convinced that the parent club is watching over them and that there's enough of them out there, the AKC will say, now you can be recognized and be in the dog shows. So that's what happened with the Barbet, French water dog, black curly hair.
They're so cute.
They are cute, and they're great personalities, the ones that I've met. And they have, the parent club calls them descriptively a Muppet.
They are a Muppet. That's so true.
Black hair, they're very cute, and great personalities, great temperaments. That was one of the 2 breeds that was recognized January 1st. The other one was the Dogo Argentino,
which I've been waiting for forever.
Well, it's a very serious dog. They were bred to hunt wild game, boar and
puma,
cooper and puma, things like that. So
I want to be best friends with a dog that can take down a puma. Yes.
Well, that's probably that would be a good dog for you to have if you need that for protection. Have a lot of pumas running around in Kansas City.
No,
Okay,
something in a Halloween costume, like acting like a puma. Yes.
It's like me with my Afghan hounds. People just say, "What they were they bred for?" I said, "For hunting snow leopards and gazelles." So I know they've done their job in Seattle because they don't have any leopards or gazelles. So try to find something else for them to do. So that's it's a 100-pound dog, serious dog. So then the third dog that's recognized for this year, finally, is the 4th of the Belgian breeds, the Belgian Lacanois. So now we have 4 Belgian breeds, the Belgian Sheepdog, the Belgian Malinois, the Belgian Tervuren, and now the Belgian Lacanois. All of those dogs, I think 3 of those names are based on the cities that they were originated from. The Lacanois is a serious war dog, police dog, but
beautiful.
Used mainly now for herding and farm work. So that dog,
he's a good swimmer too with that coat.
Sorry?
He looks like he's a good swimmer with that coat, the Lacanois.
They do have a distinctive curly, wiry sort of coat that's would lend itself well to that. You're right. The Lacanois, however, was not recognized until July 1st. And one of the requirements for our show this year is that the dog has to be a champion, and we have a numbers limit too. So the Lacanois didn't start competing until July 1st, and with all of the pandemic shows being canceled, they didn't get enough of a chance to finish their championship, so we can't find a champion Lacanois. But we're going to have one at the show anyway, and we're going to do a little special look at the 3 new breeds for this year on our telecast on Thanksgiving Day. So you'll still get to see those 3 new breeds.
Looking forward to that, David.
There you go.
Very much so. I love any breed, so bring them on.
Right.
Hopefully they'll let 5 in next year, maybe.
There have been a lot of new ones in the years. I want to say something like 60 new breeds in the 30 years that I've done the TV. So the National Dog Show has a therapy dog ambassador team that was basically created from our Angel Unleashed program, but through the genius of Steve Griffith, our publicist, who brought together the therapy dogs that we had met as we were doing promotional things and charity things in the Philadelphia area, most specifically at the Philadelphia Ronald McDonald House and Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And we created a team that visits and does things with children and other populations that need some support. And I started it as a charity related to, connected to the Westminster Kennel Club. And after a couple of years, it became evident that it was going to be too much for the Westminster Kennel Club to deal with. So we took it out on its own in New York City. And we were a 501c3 charity in New York. When we left New York City after, I think, 12 years of that, we sort of dissolved the charity, but I've signed it over to a friend of mine named Steve Kramer in Pennsylvania, who has renewed it and revived it and brought it back. They're actually doing a dog walk mid-November, a charity dog walk. And not live, but once again, as we're doing everything these days. But it goes over 2 weeks, and you get a sponsor and walk your dog, and we will hopefully make a lot of money for the charity.
That's fantastic news.
Unleash has turned out to be a great charity. We were a lot of places. First dogs ever in Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. The first therapy dogs ever in the Ronald McDonald House in New York City, and a number of other places where they've never had dogs before. And dogs made a great difference in people's lives by being there with our people that we trained and handled and created and administered the programs for.
Bravo. Boy, what does that feel like to have had a successful charity and you ran it to, a successful conclusion, and now have it have a second life?
It lives on. I'm emeritus and president and founder and still listed on their masthead. So that brings me great joy. But I'm more thrilled about having a guy like Steve Kramer take it over because he's great. We met Steve originally through the Philadelphia Ronald McDonald House, where he visited with his two dogs de Bordeaux, and I think he has a Staffordshire Bull Terrier dog now as well. But he understands what it's all about. He gets it. He walks the walk, and he's a great person for us to handle with that. And again, to go along with Steve Griffith's vision for the therapy dog team, the ambassadors, therapy dog ambassador team from the National Dog Show and the Kennel Club of Philadelphia. It's a great fit, and it lives on. So that's what makes me happiest.
Bravo.
That's amazing. An amazing story. I'm thrilled.
Well, therapy dogs are all over the place. I think that's a challenge that we're facing now. We're doing a symposium at Rowan University in New Jersey for therapy dogs on November 17th, which is next Tuesday. Again,
I've already signed up. You should sign up too.
And a girl. Yes, Larry, we expect to see you there. So we have a nice lineup of speakers. Our keynote speakers are Marty Becker, America's veterinarian. I'm sure you both know Marty.
Again, back to Marty.
Fear free for your dog. And then Dr. Cindy Otto from Penn Vet School, who is overseeing a training program and research program for dogs, training them how to do a scent alert for patients with COVID-19.
Oh my God.
Very nice.
That was fast.
A number of other speakers, Christy Dudzig, my wife Sherilyn is speaking about taking care of the caregiver, that you don't want to forget you need to watch out for yourself and not get so
She's so brilliant. That's brilliant.
Well, I think so.
People forget to take care of themselves as the caregiver. It is so paramount in the whole relationship for the caregiver to be cared for at least how do you care for yourself when you're so tired or you've given so much energy? So that's a brilliant talk, and it should be the first talk put the oxygen mask on yourself before assisting others talk.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But that was her whole life at the Ronald McDonald House, was making sure that the moms were taking care of themselves and being taken care of too. And she even got a $6 million grant to build a caregivers center at the Ronald McDonald House to take care of the moms, to give them a hair styling every once in a while, manicure, massage, little things like that really added up to be big things. And even the fathers who were there have come to take advantage of it as well. So she's a perfect fit for that. Christy Dudzik was my mentor in Therapy Dogs, and Sherry's mentor as well. And then we have a number of other people who we're talking about. Robin Rounds and her partner, or Kelly Rounds and her partner.
I love them. Yes.
It's an all-star lineup.
A program that was built around airport greeting and doing other things. They've sort of reinvented their program in the light of COVID-19, and they're going to share the things that they did to help Therapy Dogs keep working.
We'll have them on the show soon. We will have the Rounds on the show. Yes, we'll have Kelly and her hubby on. Yeah, absolutely.
But a number of other people, and it's only $20. And attending virtually is not going to cost you anything to travel there and do things. And it's at Rowan University with the Schreiber Pet Therapy, as they call it, pet therapy instead of therapy. The Schreiber Pet Therapy Center there that was created last year with a huge grant from Jerry Schreiber that was a snack foods billionaire and has a son who's a veterinarian. They came up with a concept of creating this school at Rowan University, and that's what we're part of.
Fantastic.
David,
so neat, especially today, in today's world.
Yeah. What else have we got for you?
David, this show is all about gratitude and blessing. Is there somebody in your life or in the world who you'd love to give a special shout out to today?
Sure. In-laws. Sherry's parents actually are in their late 80s. They're fighting the battle every day and on their feet and living in a home. And we're Sherry talks to them every day. So yeah, I want to send my blessings out to them. My
wonderful.
Oldest of 5 kids. We just had a great celebration sort of yesterday. My brother lives in Denver, and my father and mother's gravesite is in Denver in the Pioneer Cemetery there, which is the VA cemetery. And he goes out all the time on special occasions and takes pictures of the gravesite and sends them to everybody in the family. So blessings to all of them as well. And all the people who work in Therapy Dogs, all the people who have been touched by our dogs. It's amazing that every once in a while we'll run into somebody who says, you and your dog visited my mom in the hospital 4 years ago. And little things like that happen that really reminds us all that it's about the dogs. Because everybody remembers us from the dogs. They look at me and wouldn't have any idea who I was, and then they see Grace or Angel or Ty or Belle, and it comes back to them and says, I remember you. You were sitting in my... And the people that we've helped comfort through tough times, that the dogs have helped comfort through tough times, I think they are all very deserving of all the blessings we can send their way.
Amen.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And it is true that I do have when my phone rings, it's usually a picture of a dog and the dog's name that pops up, not the human. I know most of my customers by their dog's names and their dog's photo. No judgment, please. Don't judge me.
They come up and say, oh, Grace, how you doing? Grace. How you doing? Like I'm an afterthought. The guy in the
He brings a smile.
Truth be told.
There you go. Yeah.
At least I'm transparent about it, right?
Well, David, can we still?
Sherry used to say we might not know anybody in New York if we didn't have dogs, and that they did open a lot of doors with us for personal relationships in the neighborhood and on the streets. And I used to say I have a ministry on the streets that I'd walk a dog to work from Upper East Side to Midtown where my office was, and we would pass the same group of guys who were sleeping on cardboard in the courtyard next to a church on Park Avenue. And one day a guy kind of sat up from his cardboard and whistled at us, and Belle, her ears cocked, and she said, let's go see what this is about. Maybe he's got a treat for me. So we went over and interacted with him and talked to him for the longest time and talked to him about his dogs and his life, previous life. And that was pretty cool. And we would stop and talk to him every once in a while. And he disappeared eventually. But there was one time where I was walking to work without Belle. But I was walking that route and I saw the guy and I went over and I thought, what would Belle do? It sounds right, but what would Belle do? She said, I normally in my life, I might have just kept walking. But there, because of the relationship I had that was built by Belle, it allowed me the strength to go over there and interact with the guy. And eventually he disappeared, but Belle worked her magic other places with other people, as did Ty, as did Grace, as did Angel, and touched a lot of people in New York City. You can have a ministry of the street fairly easily in New York City. So we met guys in wheelchairs who were panhandling, became great friends that always wanted to interact with them. And they would always ask, where's Belle? We don't have Belle. So, okay. Sorry, Larry, I was on a roll. I'm sorry.
No, that was so sweet.
I was reminiscing to my days in New York City as well. Yeah.
And I was reminiscing about all the dogs I've owned and how much wonderful joy they brought to so many people. So I'm sitting here reminiscing as well, which I think is so sweet. And we asked that maybe right after the show, maybe you and you'll bring John O'Hurley along with you, and we'll do a recap before or after, right?
Yeah,
who knows?
we could do that.
I think it would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then I want to share some of my people from the symposium. We'll share some of those.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do two separate. Let's do two.
Okay. Well, no, I'm shooting for 3 now. We're now fishing for all our information cards from the dogs that are in the show, and we've come up with some great stories. And the thing is, if a Belgian Tervuren has a great story today, but it's one of 5 Belgians that are entered and it doesn't win the breed, we're never going to see it on TV, and we don't have an opportunity to tell that story. We're going to tell that story somewhere else. Because just because the dog doesn't win at a dog show doesn't mean it doesn't have a great story. And some of these guys, we've got a Weimaraner in there with a 91-year-old handler.
Oh my gosh.
We've got a dog that alerted on somebody who was having a seizure, somebody that they didn't even know, but they alerted on and stayed by her side until they got her through the seizure. We have, a lot of great stories here, and those will all be fun things for us to tell as we wind down from the dog show. Hopefully we'll get to tell a few of them on the dog show if they can also win the breed.
Thanks so much to David Frei for helping us get oriented to watch the National Dog Show on Thanksgiving. Here's the official program that you can download. We'll post a link to it so you can download it. And it's a wonderful way to watch it, to help you understand what's different this year, to let you understand the new breeds, just really how to watch the dog show, the National Dog Show, like a pro. You'll meet John Hurley and, of course, David Frei and their teammate, Mary Carrillo. And in addition, you're going to learn all about how the judging works, how the different rounds go, the history of it, and all the winners in the past. It's a wonderful program. You'll understand how to watch the dog show like a pro. And in addition, you'll understand more about the Therapy Dog Symposium that David Frei shared with us. So download that and enjoy the National Dog Show like a pro.